Welcome to our Airback Go review. If you're looking for a small travel companion, you come to the right place. In this video, I'm gonna take my experience of reviewing 500 of the world's best backpacks, and we're gonna tear this thing apart. We're gonna pack it out, I'm gonna give you my honest pros and cons, and you're gonna wanna stick around to the end of this video, because if you're not quite sure if this is the bag for you, I'm gonna make a few alternative bag recommendations for bags that are similar to this, but are offering a couple different things, so you know the best options in the market, because here at Nomadization, our goal is to help you find the best bag for your needs. Let's talk about the gist of the Airback Go. Airback is a really interesting company because in the world of bags, they're kind of gimmicky, but they're also kind of cool because they're doing some really interesting things. And they also have one of the world's largest advertising budgets. Their ads follow me everywhere. Maybe you feel the same. If you're here from an Airback ad, let me know in the comments below. And the ads are usually showing the star of the show, the built-in vacuum compression system. They started with a larger backpack and then a suitcase, which we've all reviewed, and this is the smallest bag of the bunch. So let's quickly go over some of its top features. We've got highly weatherproof materials, a quick access top pocket, suitcase style openings to the main compartment with a bit of organization, and of course the star of the show, the vacuum system. And I'll show you exactly how that works in just a few minutes. We've got compression straps, we got a TSA lock, we've got a tech compartment, USB port, and a whole bunch of other features. And I'm not gonna lie, some of them are very useful features, and some of them I think are a bit gimmicky. This is what we do in our reviews. We give you our unfiltered opinions on if we think this bag is right for the use case, which again, as advertised, is a personal item. And this is gonna be a very important part of that, the dimensions, because we're dealing with a height of around 16.5 inches, a width of around 12 inches, and an unexpanded depth of around 6 inches. And I didn't even mention the expansion on my features overview. That's how many features this frickin' bag has. But the dimensions are very important because while it's a European company, it doesn't mean that the dimensions are perfect for all European personal items. As for instance, this bag is slightly too big for Ryanair's insanely strict bag dimension restrictions. So please keep in mind, if you're looking for this to be your under the seat backpack, it's not gonna be compliant on every single airline in the world. And another thing the modern traveler has to take into consideration is the weight of a bag. As you can see, we're clocking in at 3.7 pounds on scale number 1. And we got 3.65 pounds on scale number 2, which for a bag that's 16 liters is so heavy. But keep in mind, it's actually a 32-liter bag with that expansion, which is a lot more acceptable, but I wouldn't consider that a lightweight bag. Again, if we're trying to be a modern traveler, bags getting weighed these days, and 3.6 pounds, it's not light. This is the Airback Go when it's empty, and this is the bag when it's fully packed out and worn on the Nomadization team. For reference, I'm 5'8", and our media manager, Margaret, is 5'2". And don't you worry, we're gonna pack out this bag throughout the entire review so you can see exactly what it fits. All Airback products are backed by their 3-year warranty against manufacturing defects. And for all that, this backpack runs around $225 US. And I gotta say, if at any point in this review you're thinking to yourself, wow, that was an honest video that showed the pros and the cons of the bag, and I totally wanna pick one up, and you're gonna make a purchase, we highly suggest doing so using the first link in the description below. Reason being, that link makes sure that you get the best price, and we oftentimes have discount codes, especially for Airback. But that link also helps support the Nomadization YouTube channel and team so we can keep making the best bag reviews on the web. Thank you very much. All right, let's talk about the front of the Airback Go Backpack. I think one thing Airback has done very right is the aesthetic. It's got a techie yet subtle look to it. It's not gonna draw too much attention to itself, but it also wouldn't look out of place in a business meeting. And that all of which is emphasized by this fabric right here, which is a 100% recycled nylon 900D with a face wax coating. Now let me break that down for you real fast because it's quite interesting. So you can see actually we have two fabrics. This one is super smooth and rubbery. And then the one on the side of the bag right here has a little bit more texture to it, but also has a very rubbery finish. Now that rubbery finish is going to be what they refer to as a face wax coating. And this coating also has a back PU coating. PU is polyurethane, wax is wax. It's all just ways to make the bag more weather resistant. But I'm not sure what the difference is between this fabric and this fabric. I do believe this one's the 900D. This one just feels different. But one thing to keep in mind about any fabric like this is that with these coatings, they can peel over time. Never a guarantee, just depends on the make of the fabric, also the use case, how much sun it gets, if it's in humid conditions, but it can end up looking like this over time. Do keep that in mind. Airback's logo, black on black, super subtle. I'm cool with it. You would think that there's a zipper here, but there's actually nothing, just a seam, no additional organization. The only organization on the front of the bag is this top pocket right here. One thing I do not love about Airback bags is look at how dark that is. that doesn't just annoy YouTubers like me who are trying to, get the right angle of the light to show you what's inside the freaking bag, but also, for you. Whether the bag is underneath the seat in front of you in a dark plane or a darker train, it just, it makes it more difficult to see what you put where. And a lot of modern bags these days are actually using lighter color fabrics to help to create a highlight effect inside the bag, which I am personally a big fan of. But what do you think? Like, is that annoying to you? Do you not care? Because black also has its positives as to where it's less likely to get dirty, or at least for you to notice the dirt. So what do you prefer? A darker lining inside the bag, lighter lining? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. This pocket just runs down to about here, and inside you have a zippered mesh pocket and a key leash. The key leash does have this little quick release button, which allows you to quickly access your llaves, as they say in the south of America and central and parts of Europe. Lots of places they speak Spanish, I get it. And then like I said, we have this mesh. Now I don't love this mesh. It's a very rigid mesh, very sharp, no expansion to it, but it will be durable. I'll give them that. I'm just gonna throw a bunch of things that I want quicker access to, a couple pens, backup headphones, AirPods for the jams, tissues, all that goes here. And then this pocket does have a bit more capacity. Let's see if it can fit my larger over-the-head headphones, and it absolutely will. Now, as an under-the-seat bag for non-budget European airlines like Ryanair, this is too big for that, very important. But I do love this pocket because of the quick access, right? Imagine it's underneath the seat in front of you, you unzip, you grab the things you need, whether it's your headphones for your música, your llaves to get into your front door. I'm on a Spanish thing. I might be doing Spanish for the rest of the review. Whatever it is, quick access, you can't argue with that. But really a lot of the value of this bag is in the middle. So let's go ahead and jump into the next section, the meat and potatoes. Let's talk about the middle of the Airback Go. Notice we have on each side 2 compression straps. The compression straps are tight and annoying. Tight, team tight, because they allow you to cinch down your bag, making it less bulky, which is great when you're trying to fit it in like that little box for the budget airlines, or when you're using this bag as a day pack at your actual destination. But they are annoying because, as you can see on the Airback, we have a suitcase style opening to the main compartment, and the compression straps are interfering with the ability to open these zippers. Granted, it's not the end of the world. You can just either unclip or do a little zipper like pass through, passing the Olympic torch. But no matter what, to get into the main compartment, these compression straps have to be unbuckled, which for some people can just get cumbersome over time. Especially if you're traveling with this bag for years, you travel a lot, that can just really start to irk you over time. Notice here on the side, we have a USB port, which means you can keep a battery inside the bag and charge your phone via the wire on the outside of your bag. Not a feature I really use, but if that appeals to you, which I read every comment and respond to most of them on this channel, and I know that a lot of y'all out there, you use that. Margaret, would you use that? Not something we'd use, but if you use it, I respect that. Now, the other side is something I would use though, which is this little side pocket right here, which is ideal typically for water bottles, but can be really utilized for anything. We're gonna test out how well it can hold a water bottle when the bag is fully packed out in just a second. And then above that, we have a TSA lock, which helps to lock the tech compartment, which again, gimmicky or awesome? I don't know, because truth be told, they're a little finicky. Okay, so actually very easy to clip in. Feels like it's very good hardware, but this is not really a vault that's not gonna stop a thief. You can just take a pen and like pop open a zipper quite easily. But I guess it does provide a little extra peace of mind, and the TSA lock does help airline travel become a lot more uniform and easier across the board. All right, let's get into that main compartment. Now I gotta know, I do like certain materials that Airback uses. I love these buckles. They got a little rubberiness to them. They feel really nice. They clip very well. But one thing I don't love at this price point is that these zippers are not name brand that I know of. They are either HA or AH. They're not YKK though, that's for darn sure. And at 200 and I think it's 50 US dollars almost, I'd wanna see a bag that has YKK zippers, or at least ultra zippers, or some higher grade name brand zippers. So that's definitely a big miss in my opinion. Now in the main compartment, move water bottle. You can see we've got these 2 areas. This is like a really plasticky material. You can see just how plasticky it is. And this is marketed as an odor resistant area. Could be a good spot for shoes. These are size 9 US American Nikes. Yeah, they're fitting in very nicely. And speaking of Nikes, can I put my Nike book in there? Oh my God, that'd be a double whammy. Nike shoes and a Nike book. No, almost. We're gonna get it in there. Nice. Nike book, Nike shoes, Team Nike all day, let's go. But now, the moment you all been waiting for, let's talk about the actual vacuum compression system. which you can see is airtight, right? And it has to be. And I've tested the system out on 2 other Airback bags at this point, so I know it pretty well. The zipper, it's gonna take some wrist power to open and to close it. Muy difícil. But obviously that's required to ensure that when you do compress everything, it doesn't leak. You want that zipperage and that air tightness to stay airtight. Now, one thing to note about Airback and the air pump is that in our community, at least, it has driven people crazy in the comments section that it's actually sold separately. So you can see right here, when you actually get the pump, you got all the different parts, all the different pieces. Does it even come charged? I don't know. Oh yeah. So it doesn't even come charged, but don't you worry, we have another one. We just have to find it. I think, let's check in the backpack, Margaret, the Airback original. And while we're looking for the air pump, I'm gonna talk to you about this because there's kind of pros and cons with it not being included. Because at the end of the day, you can actually use a regular vacuum for the air pump. You find it yet, Margaret? So in theory, you don't need the air pump. You can just get your vacuum at home and suck it tight. We have a lot of backpacks here. So like when we need to find something, sometimes it gets like, yeah, you got it, nice. Thanks, dude. Et voila. Good work, Margaret. Everyone in the comments section, let Margaret know how great of a job she did. We love you, Margaret. All right, so you don't need this actual thing. You can use a vacuum, right? But if you do want to use this, it's not cheap. It's like 70 freaking euros, right? So now you've gone from this $200+ backpack to this pump, and now went from like a, you know, an expensive bag to a really expensive combo. So we're gonna test the whole thing out. And I will say, in previous tests, we were able to cut down, I'd say around 20 to 30% of clothing bulk. I think that Airback is a little aggressive with how much space they say that you can save. But it definitely saves space. There's no doubt about that. The question though, is the space that you're saving worth the weight that you're gaining? I can't make those decisions for you. That's a you question. So you can see we're just loading up the bag with a bunch of clothes. I got a week's worth of clothes, shirts, underwear, shorts, my sister's sweater. My sister is the face of our sister channel, Gear for the Girls. If you're a lady out there, you wanna check out some gear for the ladies, be sure to subscribe to Gear for the Girls. Got one more shirt. Okay, cool. So you can see what we're dealing with here, right? This thing is full, basically. I'm gonna close it. Airtight. Now we get the pump. Margaret, you know what to do. Cover your ears. She hates this thing because it's freaking loud. But you can see when it's applied, it does work. And yes, it is slowly sucking the life out of this compartment. Tell us where the others are. Tell us where the rebels are hiding. If you ever want to see your family again, you would tell us. So you can see, as I'm torturing this thing to death, it is loud and not an enjoyable noise. Actually, I'm gonna leave this right here because I have some more points on that. Oh, crap. What happened? And you can see it's a little finicky. I think that we just lost this part. I don't know where you're supposed to be. What in God's name? All right, so we're gonna try this again. Okay. Sucking its soul again. Tell us where the others are. So as you can see, this thing works. I stick to what I said. I think we probably cut down around 20 to 30% of space, and it's airtight. It's not going anywhere. And that 20% of space for when this bag is unexpanded goes a long way, because there was no way I was gonna fit a sweater on top of that before, but now I can pop that on there. I got my week's worth of clothes, got my sweater, got my shoes. I lost my book. Put something else in there. I put my sunglasses in there. Perfect. Got my shades, and now I'm ready for my trip. But now let's talk about the expansion, where you can see we got this chunky non-YKK zipper right here. Unexpanded the bag, and now we got a lot more room to play with. We just added 2 inches of depth to the bag, which yeah, that gives us a lot more to play with. It doesn't feel like 32 liters now, but you know, it's definitely closer to 25, I'd say. And I'm gonna go ahead and throw a DOP kit and a tech pouch in there. You can see we definitely, you know, created a lot more packable space. Woo! Now it's a bulky bag. I'm gonna talk more about the bulk of the bag and how comfortable it is and the fit a bit more in the next section. But a few more notes in the middle. We got a top handle that I'm not really crazy about. It's small. You can see my hands, I'm 5'8". I'm not a super big dude, so there's not a lot of room to grab. It's a very smooth, premium feeling fabric, kind of leathery to the touch, but it's a bit more form over function, kind of difficult to grab. I do wish there was a bit more slack there. Now let's talk the tech compartment, which is accessible with the TSA lockable zippers. And you can see we're in right here. Tech compartment itself can fit up to a 16-inch MacBook Pro. You're not gonna get a 17-inch in there though. That's as big of a laptop as you'll get. We got these 2 securing straps right here, which kind of interesting. They help to give a little bit of extra, I don't know, security, conciseness to the whole bag. Now we also got a tablet sleeve, but whew, that's a tough one to get to. Got a 12-inch iPad here. And with this bag fully packed out, it's gonna make it a bit more challenging, but we can squeeze in there. I'd say for the price point, this is not the world's most protective laptop bag. Not the best, not the worst. We got some decent padding on the back panel. This is gonna be great for protection. Not so much really on the front part, you're just dealing with whatever clothes you have here. But we do have a bit of a false bottom. The bottom of the laptop compartment stops around here, so if you drop your bag, the laptop is less likely to get damaged, which is a very nice touch. It just kind of feels a little flimsy. This tech compartment is just definitely not the world's greatest tech bag, right? If you're looking for a tech travel bag, there's better companies out there. But we got a bit of organization here in these two pockets, so it could be a good spot for your portable tote. I can throw a backup wallet in there. Now, this bag is fully decked out. One last point on the middle. Oh wait, no, two. Water bottle holder. Side zipper gives you access. Elastic fabric right here creates expansion in the pocket. We got a 24-ounce Columbia. You can see we're fitting-ish. This water bottle holder pocket itself is quite short. We're at just over 6 inches. So we don't get a really great fit for the water bottle. And if you have a larger water bottle, like a 1 liter, forget about it. Ain't gonna happen. No posible. Pero, I'm in a Spanish mood today. These compression straps do allow you to secure your water bottle, right? So this does add one other sneaky awesome functionality of having these guys. And the last note is the bag does self-stand pretty well. It's gonna depend on how it's packed out. Obviously when it's expanded, it'll self-stand even better because we've widened the base, right? By 2 inches. But overall, as you can see, we tested this bag outside with it unexpanded and it still self-stood pretty darn well. And if you're watching this, you're thinking to yourself, dude, this guy's going into so many details. He's crazy, and I love it. He's loco, but I want more. We're loco together. If that's the case, and you're really enjoying this video, that means that you probably love travel gear and EDC gear. I'd love to tell you that here at Nomads Nation, we don't just do epic reviews on our YouTube channel, but we also have the Nomads Nation newsletter. And in that newsletter, you can look at me like your reporter in the field, telling you the biggest drops, limited edition collabs, a little bit of industry gossip, and everything in between. So if you want to stay up to date with everything that's happening in this incredible world of EDC and travel gear, be sure to look for this globe emoji in the description below, and hope to see you in your inbox. All right, last major section. Let's talk about the back of the Airback Go. Starting with this right here, we got a luggage pass-through holder that you can utilize to combine the Airback Go with a suitcase. Unfortunately though, it's a horizontal luggage pass-through holder. It doesn't allow you to carry your bag upright. It looks pretty well enforced here. Just the right amount of looseness as to where you can get the actual bag on, especially with it fully packed out. But I do wish it would allow you to carry the bag this way on your suitcase. Now let me just rant a little bit about the comfort of this bag. It's kind of weird because it's actually a really small bag. Even when our media manager, Margaret, who's 5'2", and I'm 5'8", you know, so we're not the world's biggest people, but this bag just feels small. It's not super tall, and I can see Margaret smirking right now because as I'm seeing myself on camera, especially now that we're expanded, we've got a lot of depth here. So it's a very fat bag when expanded, which is also very common when bags are expanded. But overall, the point that I wanna make is this. This is definitely an interesting travel companion because of all the features, right? If the vacuum sealing and the compression straps and the expansion are all features that really speak to you, and you really want that awesome under the seat backpack with you on all your travels, this is a good option. But because of the comfort and the way it's designed, it's definitely designed to be that under the seat backpack. And it's not a very good EDC. In fact, I'm gonna go as far as saying it's just not a very comfortable long-term wear. Now the good news is you're probably combining this with a suitcase, so you're not gonna be wearing it for long periods of time. But just looking at the size of it, like I said, it's around 16 inches height versus a typical everyday carry. It's gonna have a height around 18 inches. And the shoulder strap length is just under 14 inches versus on a typical everyday carry, you're looking at about 18 inches. And the sizing of this bag is very common for what you're seeing for everyday carries. So I just think it's important to keep in mind. This bag was very clearly designed for a specific use case. And I think that it can work for the right person as that use case. But if you're looking for like an all-rounder bag that can also double up as an EDC, I just don't think this is really made very well for both of those things. Tightening this bag as tight as it can go, you can see that we do have some sternum strappage going on. It's really, the bag feels quite small. Remember, I'm 5'8". Each shoulder strap has a little dangle stopper, keeping Dan happy. And if you're wondering, who the hell is Dan, Aaron? Meet Dan. He's been protesting dangle on Nomads Nation since 2019. At ease, soldier. at ease. So you see we got the dangle stoppers. Yeah, overall mixed reviews on the comfort. It's definitely not uncomfortable. I'm not crazy about this sort of shoulder strap padding that I've seen done on bags from Alpaca, Linus Tech Tips, and now Airback. And our media manager, Margaret, agrees, not her favorite as well, but some people really do like it. That's the thing with comfort, is it's so subjective. So one thing I might recommend doing is if you're interested in the comfort of this bag, or really any questions about this bag in general, you should definitely ask that question in the Nomads Nation subreddit. We put together one of the biggest and most active bag communities in the world, so hopefully somebody can help you out there, and just stop by and say hi. We'd love to see you. Okay, let's talk about the overall pros and the cons of the Airback Go. Pro number 1 is going to be the versatility of capacity with the expansion. Pro number 2 is going to be that enhanced versatility of capacity with the internal vacuum compression. And pro number 3 is that enhanced versatility of capacity with the compression straps, right? I think that's the biggest selling point of this bag, is just how versatile it can be as a personal item, playing with those different dimensions so you can fit what you need depending on what airline you're flying with. But on the flip side, I got some cons, and here they are. Con number 1, it's a very complicated user experience. Con number 2 is the compression vacuum does not come with the bag. Gotta buy it as an extra. And con number 3, I do think at the price point that we are skimping on some materials, namely the fact that there's no name brand zippers or fabrics on this backpack. Oh, also con number 4, it's quite heavy for the size. But if you're still watching this, there's a good chance that you're thinking to yourself, you know what? Pros and cons, I get them, but those cons, they don't really apply to me. And I'm totally gonna pick up one of these bad boys. Well, if that's the case, just a reminder, we highly suggest doing so with the first link in the description, because that's where you can get the best price. And if we have any discount codes, which we usually do for Airback, that's what they'll be. But if you're not quite sold, I'm also gonna give you some alternatives that I teased earlier in the video that are pretty close to the Airback Go Backpack, but a little bit different, so you can get the best idea of what's on the market. Now, actually, if you're new to the channel, I recommend watching the video at the top, which is the Nomads Nation leaderboard. This is where the members of the Nomads Nation team, we come together like the Avengers, and we pick our specific favorite bags in specific distinct bag categories. So you can kind of get an idea of different opinions from our team of gearheads. But if we're really close with the Airback Go, let me give you 2 specific recommendations that Margaret and I right now think might better suit your needs. My first alternative suggestion is going to be the Osprey Daylite 26+6. This is a great pick for you if you're looking for a very versatile travel backpack. You don't mind a little bit more of an old school heritage hiker aesthetic because you want amazing value. The 26+6 is like one of the best travel bags, and it's only $100. And my second alternative recommendation is gonna be the Nomatic Travel Pack. This is a great pick for you if you like the more modern aesthetic that Airback is bringing to the table, and you love a crap ton of features and the ability to expand, as the Nomatic Travel Pack expands from 20 liters to 30 liters. But there's no compression system. It's a little bit lighter. It's a bit more business friendly. They're just kind of very similar bags, but they do things a little bit differently as well. Honestly, every bag out there has its own unique set of pros and cons. The challenging part is finding the bag that's perfect for your needs. And to see if the 2 alternatives are a better fit for you, just go ahead and watch these videos right here. If you got any questions about any bags, be sure to let us know in the comments below or on the Nomads Nation subreddit. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Aaron. This is Nomads Nation, and we'll catch you next time.